Hi guys, Miss Katie here. So this week we are doing nursery rhymes and fairy tales. So I decided to read you guys a book that's pretty funny. So we all know the story of the three little pigs, and we hear about how awful the big bad wolf is and how he keeps blowing the house down with the straw and the sticks and the bricks. But there's another book that's called The True Story of the Three Little Pigs. And this is told by the wolf. So we're going to hear what the wolf has to say about the real story. And at the end, you can decide which you think the real story is. Do you think that the wolf is telling the truth, or you think that the pigs are telling the truth with their story? So like I said, the title of the story is The True Story of the Three Little Pigs. We should know this word, the and the. Front, back, the spine of the book, and title page right up front. It's so fun when they do that. And this is the dedication page. A dedication page is when the author, the person who writes the words, dedicates the book to somebody who probably helped them write it or gave them inspiration for the book. So this starts here. It says, "Everybody knows the story of the three little pigs, or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story because nobody has ever heard my side of the story." So this is the wolf talking. "I'm the wolf, Alexander T. Wolf. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. It's just the way that we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks will probably think you were big and bad too. But like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. This, you should know this word, is the real story." Way back in Once Upon a Time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold, and I ran out of sugar. There he is, making all this stuff. And there's a picture of his granny. Ooh, did I turn the page? There we go. Oh, yeah. So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now, this neighbor was a pig. And he wasn't too bright either. Too bright meaning he doesn't think he's very smart, which is not nice to say. He built this whole house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in his right mind would build a house of straw? There he is walking. There's that house up there made of straw. Do you guys think straw is really tough and you think that maybe wind could even knock it down? So, of course, the minute I knocked on the door, I fell right in. I didn't just walk into somebody else's house, so I called, little pig, are you in?" No answer. I was just about to go home without the cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday. That's when my nose started to itch, and I felt a sneeze coming on. Well, I huffed, and I snuffed, and I sneezed a great sneeze. Achoo! And you know what? That whole darn straw house fell down, and right in the middle of the pile of straw was the first little pig. He had been home that whole time. So it seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying around, so I ate him. Think of it as a big cheeseburger just kind of lying there. I was feeling a little better, but I still didn't have my cup of sugar. So I went to the next neighbor's house. This neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He was a little smarter, but not much. He had built his house of sticks. I rang the bell in the sticks house. Nobody answered. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in?" He yelled back, "Go away, wolf. You can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs on my chinny chin chin." I just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on. I huffed, and I snuffed, and I tried to cover my mouth, but I sneezed a really great sneeze. And you're not going to believe it, But this guy's house fell down just like his brother. And when it cleared, there was the second little pig. Now, you know food will spoil if you leave it out in the open, so I did what there was to do. I had dinner again. Think of it as a second helping. I was getting awfully full, but my cold was feeling a little better, and I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday. So I went to the next house. This guy was the first and second little pig's brother. He must have been the brains of the family. He had built his house out of bricks. I knocked on the brick house. No answer. I called, Mr. Pig, Mr. Pig, are you in? And do you know what that rude little porker answered? Get out of here, Wolf. Don't bother me again. Well, that wasn't very nice. Let's see if I can turn this page. There we go. Talk about impolite. He probably had a whole sack full of sugar, and he wouldn't even give me one little cup for my dear, sweet old granny's birthday. What a pig. I was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt my cold coming on. I huffed, and I snuffed, and I sneezed once again. Achoo! Then the third little pig yelled, and your old granny can sit on a pin. Ooh, them be fighting words. Now, I'm usually a really pretty calm fellow, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I go a little crazy. So when the cops drove up, of course, I was trying to break down the pig's door, and the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene. And the rest, they say, is history. It's a big bad wolf. The news reporters found out about the two pigs that I had for dinner. They figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting, so they jazzed up the story with all of that huff and puff and blow your house down stuff, and they made me out to be the big bad wolf. That's it. The real story. I was framed. Framed means when somebody sets you up for something that you didn't do. But maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar. So, what do you guys think? Which story do you think is the real story? Do you think that the story that the wolf told is the real story? Or do you think that the real story that we've read before, the other story of the three little pigs, is true? I wonder. I don't know. Something to think about. All right? Bye, guys.